Hey everyone, Gill Gross here, and it is time for a preview of Alexander Zverev versus Stefanos Tsitsipas in the 2021 Roland Garros semifinals. This will be the eighth meeting between these two shared generation rivals, and the current head-to-head is 5-2 in favor of the Greek. But the stakes are enormous for this match, and ultimately, I think both of them would agree they would trade a couple of their victories either way just to win this match. Tsitsipas looks for his first major final, and Zverev not only looks to get back into a major final, and it would be back-to-back years, which would be a nice accomplishment for the German, but he also has not really come up with a big victory in a major to this day. He is 0-9 against the top 10 in majors, and that is beginning to be something of a monkey on the back for Sasha Zverev. A bit of it looms a little bit large on his resume at the moment because he really needs to pick up that win over an elite player in the best-of-5 format. Otherwise, he'll never go all the way, although he was very, very close at the U.S. Open. I have a tactical theory for why this matchup has been so one-sided. And Zverev did win their last meeting in Acapulco. It started with the 4-1 lead for Tsitsipas. Zverev comes all the way back there, wins the first set, wins the second in a tiebreak, and it was a very intense match. And Zverev afterwards said that, well, Tsitsipas has played me a couple times when I just wasn't myself in 2018 and 2019. And it's like, okay, maybe. But my only tactical theory for why this matchup has been, for the most part, in favor of Tsitsipas is Zverev's offense his best offense, I should say, all goes into Tsitsipas's far superior wing when it comes to both neutralization and counter-attacking. The forehand wing for Tsitsipas, which is really superlative on clay, the way he defends that side. He slides into the shot beautifully, and he has so much physical strength that he gets a lot on the forehand when he is on the run, moving to his right. And Zverev's best offense is his backhand down the line, his forehand cross-court, and his forehand inside in. Those are the shots that Zverev really is a lot better at attacking with. Backhand cross court, yeah, it's a good shot, of course, and it's the backhand, which is great, but it's difficult to do a ton of damage with cross court backhands. That goes for almost everyone on tour, unless you have the speed of shot that like Dominic Thiem and Wawrinka have, or Sinner. It's really difficult. The inside out forehand from Zverev, not good. Much better inside in, comparatively. And the down the line forehand for Zverev, not great. Much better cross court. So when you attack Tsitsipas, especially on hard courts, you want to attack the backhand, not the forehand. And Zverev's attacks, his most competent attacks and his most effective attacks, they all go into the stronger wing for Tsitsipas. So look out for that. It's just a theory. I can't say with 100% confidence, but I can say with 80 or 90% confidence that that's been a factor in this matchup. All in all, Tsitsipas comes in the favorite. I think for the reason, and when I say favorite, I'm literally stating a fact. Some people don't understand that and they get upset. Like, I forget what matchup it is, but I'm literally referring to the betting odds. So it's just a fact. You can't argue it. Just thought I'd clarify. Sometimes I say that and I get comments like, you think he's the favorite? How dare you? I think Nadal was the underdog last year in the French Open final against Djokovic. And I just said he was the underdog, that Nadal was the underdog, which was just a fact, just an undisputable fact. And people got very upset at the fact that he was the underdog. Okay, I digress. So Tsitsipas is a favorite. I think the reason, partially the head-to-head, partially the dominant 2021 that he's had leading the race to Turin, whereas Zverev has been good, 2 titles in 2021, but a little bit inconsistent. Also just looking like the best clay court player outside of Rafa Nadal in the end for most of the clay court season. And add on to that the fact that I think Tsitsipas has had a more impressive tournament. Let me save that argument for a little bit later. But for me, it's that Tsitsipas has a very distinct offensive edge. When it comes to slower, heavier conditions, yes, Zverev has good power off both wings, but sometimes he shies away from it. He shies away from using his transition game, doesn't come to net, isn't aggressive, takes on this very passive retrieval mode that he goes into in certain matches. And I just think Tsitsipas's offense is way too good for that to fly in this match at any point. Tsitsipas's forehand is elite. It is in the company with Nadal, Thiem, and Tsitsipas. I think is kind of in that elite level of forehand dominance on clay. Tsitsipas is in that, but he also goes to the net beautifully. He finishes points beautifully moving forward. He hits great approach shots. He can attack with the backhand down the line. And Zverev relies on retrieval too much at times. He can't do that in this matchup because Tsitsipas, I just think, is another level where Zverev can get away with that against so many opponents. And Tsitsipas is just, the forehand is too good. The weaponry is too good that if Zverev thinks that he's going to defend and play a passive game style and that Tsitsipas isn't going to be able to find ways through his defense, I think that he is in for a surprise. And when I say Zverev relies on retrieval too much at times, I'm talking about the Jannik Sinner match last year, which he said he was sick for that match. But that is an example. But then we saw it in this tournament, in his first round match against Oscar Otta, where he dropped the first two sets, just cagey, passive stuff from Zverev. And then in the first set against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, which was a very ugly set of tennis, where ADF was making tons of unforced errors, and Zverev was really just waiting for them and not doing much on his own accords. You can even go off of a clay court and look at his 2020 U.S. Open, how he started against Borna Coric, where the first set was, again, just ugly, ugly stuff. The Pablo Carreno Busta match, where he went down 2-0, playing passively. Zverev just has this bad habit. It takes him time to get his confidence and start going for his shots. Sometimes not only does it take him time, but it requires him to for his back to be against the wall in the match before he begins to use all of the tools that he has. Tsitsipas's offense is almost definitely too consistent and too brutal for Zverev to get away from that in this match. But let's say Zverev is confident. Let's say he's playing his all-court game. He's utilizing the power that he can bring on the forehand side when he flattens out. And let's talk about how Zverev might gain some advantages here. Well, he does have the serve edge in the respect that he's going to get more free points that way. He figures to secure more aces that way. And I think the way he wins this match is that, yes, his counter-striking and his consistency can shine. And he can steal some points that way, combined with the serve dominance. I think that if Zverev wins this match, the unforced error count is heavily in favor of the German, because I do think that he can play a cleaner style. I think he's more comfortable, a little bit more comfortable really posting up and playing mistake-free tennis at the highest level in the biggest moments, where Tsitsipas can get anxious. He wants to control play. It's uncomfortable for him when he's not controlling play, and at times he will miss, especially with Zverev's speed and how difficult that can make it on opponents looking to attack. Ultimately, I think that Tsitsipas has been at a higher level rather consistently throughout this tournament. And I think he comes in battle-tested when Zverev does not. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina is the highest-ranked player that Zverev has encountered. And that makes it very, very difficult for me to evaluate Zverev's form and where he's at, because he has not played a player that is really capable of beating him. And when you combine that with the fact that he has yet to beat a top 10 player on clay, I don't know where he possibly draws his confidence from heading into this match that he is going to bring the level to beat Stefanos Tsitsipas, a player who has looked so good up there with Rafa Nadal. I think 1A and 1B, along with Novak Djokovic when you consider his Rome form. So I think that has been the top three. Zverev has not been in that conversation. I don't like to put weight into Madrid at all. I just don't like to value Madrid because I don't think that it's representative of the conditions that we see at the French Open. Tsitsipas has encountered uncomfortable battles against John Isner, who redlined his game in the first set, against Pablo Carreño Busta, who is playing great tennis, is a tough matchup, and will give you nothing easy. And Tsitsipas, really ran through that matchup and passed it with flying colors. And then finally, Daniil Medvedev, who is a matchup nightmare historically for Tsitsipas, and also someone who resembles Zverev's game. He's a worse version of Alexander Zverev, on clay at least, because he is a defensive-minded, court-covering guy with a massive serve. And we already saw how Tsitsipas neutralized the Daniil Medvedev serve very, very effectively with his block returning. The conditions will be hot. It will be a midday match, so keep that in mind. Maybe that changes things, but we already saw that. But I think the most important thing about that is that Tsitsipas has felt the pressure, has felt the discomfort of opponents who are highly capable of playing really great tennis against him. And Zverev, frankly, hasn't. That, combined with Zverev's tendency to start slow, combined with the fact that I believe his confidence is somewhat fickle. I have a lot more confidence in Tsitsipas's mental game coming into this match. I don't really trust Zverev's second serve. I don't really trust his forehand under pressure. I do trust Tsitsipas's second serve and his forehand in the big moments. My prediction is Stefanos Tsitsipas in 4. Remember, I'll be going live after both of the semifinal matches. So after this match and Nadal Tsitsipas, Nadal Djokovic, I will go live. I will give my post-match evaluations, and then I will take your comments. So make sure you check my channel and tune in for that. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.